Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines because we are Sonic Racing. Sonic Racing Crossworlds, that is.
It's Sonic Crossworlds Racing. Or is it the other way around? Wait, fuck.
It's Sonic Racing Crossworlds.
I thought it was the other way around.
Sonic Crossworlds Racing. It's Sonic Racing Crossworlds. And we're going to discuss it today because we're fans.
Well, Sonic fans, to be exact.
Before we start, question, what is your experience with Sonic Racing games prior?
Not a lot, honestly. I bought and played Transformed, I think? I'm not even sure. This is the only one I've really ever, really played.
Really? You ever tried any of the Riders games?
Oh, wait, no. Yeah, I've played Riders. What am I thinking? Yeah, Riders is I really like Riders, but I haven't played any of its sequels.
You ever dabble in Sonic Drift on the collections?
No, I haven't played Sonic R or whatever.
You're not really missing out.
I played a fan game. I played a Robo Blast Kart 2 or whatever it's called.
Yeah, everyone loves that one.
It's alright.
I've never heard of that one. What is it?
It's a fan game within a fan game. So there's a game called Sonic Robo Blast 2, which is kind of the cream of the crop when it comes to Sonic fan games. It's basically, what if we took Doom's engine and turned it into a Sonic game? And then, I don't know if it was the same people, I think it was someone else. They decided to make a kart racer using that engine and that art style.
And then there's Dr. Robotnik's Ring Racers, which is made by the same team, and it's like they took Robo Blast Kart 2 and they cranked up the mechanics. But yeah, as far as the racing games goes, that's pretty much it for my experience.
And Lugia, what is your Sonic Racing experience?
A little bit more, but not too much. I did play Sonic Drift on Mega Collection for 10 minutes. It's a fine 8-bit racer, nothing too crazy. I sampled Sonic R at your house many years ago, but I've never actually played the game fully for myself. For Riders, I only had Zero Gravity on the Wii growing up, and that one was okay. I know Riders 1 is more mechanically interesting, whereas Zero Gravity is more about how cool the slow motion effects are, but it's also sluggish to turn in that game, so it's not really all that fun. And then we have the traditional kart racers, Sega All-Stars Racing, Transformed. I loved those, especially Transformed. I sampled Team Sonic Racing, but I never really put that much time into it. And then Crossworlds, which is the topic for today.
And so we share a bit of a similar background, because I too sampled Drift on Mega Collection Plus. Didn't play a whole lot of it. It was fine. I played Sonic R. The only Sonic Riders game I played was Zero Gravity, but I do have memories of watching my brother play the original Sonic Riders on PlayStation 2. I've never actually tried it for myself, I just remember watching him play it. But when it comes to the modern stuff, yeah, I've played the original Sega All-Stars Racing, I played All-Stars Racing Transformed, and I've played Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Wait, no, I mean, well, yeah, I played Sonic Racing Crossworlds, but Team Sonic Racing, the one before it, played that one too.
And you tell no one gives a shit about Team Sonic Racing?
For real, I think I like Team Sonic Racing more than most. I understand why people don't like it, but
it's
I think at its core, it's solid.
In comparison to what came before it, it's nothing special.
Yeah, but in its own bubble, it's a fine kart racer. It's not bad by any means. A little lacking, sure, but
Is it as good as Crossworlds?
God, no.
No. Crossworlds is much better, but
it's not even better than the original All-Stars Racing.
That's a whole other discussion. Just know that I do stand Team Sonic Racing, a little bit at least. But when it came to the announcement of Crossworlds, I was like, hell yeah, new Sonic Racing game, because it had been a while since the last one.
When was Team Sonic Racing? Was that 2019?
2019, yeah, but it was first announced in 2018. But what was your guys' expectation going into this game?
I was interested in Crossworlds. It wasn't gonna be a day one purchase for me, and it wasn't for a while. I didn't pick this up until a couple months later. But it did look like it would be a lot of fun. I was kind of disappointed that the Sega cast wouldn't really be brought back, because that was one of the biggest draws for me for Sega All-Stars Racing and All-Stars Racing Transformed, was that Sega took all their previous brands that they didn't know what else to do with and put them in a kart racer. And that's how you got to know certain characters like Billy Hatcher, Alex Kidd, Joe Musashi from franchises you probably never played and probably never will, but it was cool though. It felt like a nice celebration of what Sega has done prior. And keeping it strictly Sonic, it was fine. I mean, I love the Sonic cast as much as the next guy, but I felt like the diversity with what Sega All-Stars Racing and Transform brought to the table made it more interesting.
That's fair. Well, I will give Crossworlds credit. It does pull a bit further from the Sonic franchise than the other racing games have. Because again, here you got like the Babylon Rogues, which I don't think have been playable since the Riders games. Well, was Jet playable in like some of the Olympic games?
I don't know. I think the last time they were playable was Free Riders.
It's weird, the idea that you would make a racing game without the Babylon Rogues, considering that's their whole deal.
But they use extreme gear, and the other racing games were cars, and I guess Sega thought that wouldn't be right for them.
Yeah, but still.
To backtrack, Lucky, did you have any sort of expectations going into this?
Not really. I didn't even start paying attention to it until like the open beta was announced. As around then I started seeing footage of it and I was like, wait, this actually looks pretty good. Because I expected lesser Mario Kart, which is funny considering people's reception to Mario Kart World right now.
Have you played Mario Kart World? Because
no.
I haven't.
None of us, for the record, none of us own a Switch 2.
I'm sure it plays like a Mario Kart, which means it's a good kart racer, mechanically.
But it's not worth $500 just to get it. Especially when Mario Kart 8 got support, like, for a fucking decade.
Audience, keep in mind, we are 3 people who are not going to be drawing comparisons to World because we haven't played it. There will be comparisons to other Mario Kart games, though.
Just something to mention offhand. I thought it was gonna be, like, I don't know, because Transform seemed like okay, but it didn't scratch that kart racing itch, I guess, that Mario Kart would. But Crossworlds, yeah, I mean, it looked good, and it turns out it really is good.
So, for me, Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, that might be my top kart racer, because I remember there was a time in middle school where, like, there was nothing else I played except that. So when I saw that Crossworlds was going to be going back to that sort of changing tracks, changing vehicles dynamic, like, I was fully on board to see what it would do. And after playing it for a few months, I'm not quite sure if it surpasses Transformed. It at the very least comes close to its level, but I think what we have here is like a strong top 3 of Sonic racing games so
Without
far.
a doubt. I agree with you. I'm not sure whether or not this trumps Transform for me, mainly with the transformation aspect of the vehicles. I feel, I might be crazy for this, but I feel like the plane and the boat controlled much better in Transform than they do here in Crossworlds. That's primarily because in Crossworlds they add like different mechanics, like when you drift with the boat, it does a jump now. You can drift with the plane to get bursts of speed, but it's never really clear like what's the fastest way to travel in those modes. I don't know if like constantly drifting and doing jumps is what gets you top speed in those modes. It was never clear for me. I don't know if it depends on vehicle type or whatnot.
Yeah, I'll admit, when I first got my hands on Crossworlds and I got to the boat and plane sections, I was a bit thrown off because I thought it would control exactly how it was in Transformed. But no, it's looser, I guess, because especially when you're in a boat, you don't really drift, you more slide into a turn.
Yeah,
And that was kind of weird at first. I did get used to it, and I think it really helps when you take your hand off the acceleration.
yeah, I tend to just hit the brake. Like, you can hold the gas and the brake and slow down and then just let off the brake again. Although, I don't know, maybe letting off the gas entirely works really well.
That's what I do, but I don't know if that's faster for sharper turns.
I will say, I do think Transformed at the very least beats it out in terms of how it implements that mechanic into the course design. Because I remember in Transformed, like, there were certain tracks that were like nothing but plane riding, like nothing but like, or sections of track that you were in the boat for like a really long time, where you switched between all 3 in one race. Whereas here, it's kind of like little snippets, like, hey, here's the plane section for a little bit, back to the car. Here's the boat section for a little bit, back to the car. So it's not as integral to the track design, but it is neat to spice it up.
Something that Transformed also did was that the courses themselves would sort of tell a story. Like, you would be, for like the first few laps, you would just be driving in the car like normal, and then suddenly the ground would give way, and then you'd be in the plane for the final lap. Stuff like that.
I think the Skies of Arcadia track is the perfect example of that, because it's a whole battle going on, and the track is like falling apart as a result of it.
Crossworlds does something similar, but to a much lesser extent.
I can think of a couple of tracks that have like a shifting environment as you go. Blizzard Valley, like the ground gets destroyed in the final lap. Minecraft World also gets the ground blown up and you go through a new section.
So yeah, it's not entirely absent, it's just not as prominent.
But there is one feature about Crossworlds that we haven't mentioned yet, and that's Lap 2. Normally in Crossworlds, how a race would go is you'd pick a map, like let's say E-Stadium or Colorful Mall, and you would go through the first lap of that normally. And then by the time you get to the second lap, you get a choice between 2 warp rings. One will take you to an exclusive Crossworld that you cannot play normally unless you're doing time trials, or a completely random track, which could just be literally anything, Crossworld or main stage. It could be either or. And this is a mechanic that I like a lot, but I feel also could be done a little better. Like, it's cool that we do get the choice to like vary up how the second lap is approached, and it gives me a reason to stay on my toes at all times when I'm racing, because you never really know what you're gonna get when you gotta make the choice, even if you do see the one that you do want. At the same time though, it also kind of mutes the main track that you just picked, because instead of playing them for 3 laps, you're only playing them for 2 laps, and then that third lap just has a very minor change to it. So it makes the main tracks that you select feel a little less memorable and also not as prominent. Granted, they're still the forefront because you play them more often, but they're definitely not the main focus, and I feel like that could be hit or miss with some people.
I understand, but I feel like, so in the Grand Prix, unlike a traditional Mario Kart where it's 4 tracks, in Sonic Racing Crossworlds, a Grand Prix is only 3 tracks, with the 4th race being basically you jumping from all 3 courses in one race. So
it's
lap
like a
1
final
is the first
exam.
track. Yeah. So I view the final exam as basically the 3rd lap of that track, because you played on it originally for 2 laps because of the Crossworld section. So I view that as like kind of a complete full course, I guess.
Right, but that's just for the Grand Prix specifically. Race Park and online play don't do that.
True, but again, you can get one of the traditional race courses as a Crossworld, so there is that variety at least.
I think a fun mechanic for online play is a mode where each lap is different. Like, you don't just go through a portal on the second one, but also on the third. As like an alternate game mode, not like the main thing.
Yeah. What about the tracks themselves? Do we have favorites or least favorites?
Actually, I was kind of thinking we would just go down the list for each track individually. Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, so I brought the list up here of the tracks, starting with the very first track of the game, E-Stadium. And I don't think it's controversial to say this is basically the Mario Kart Stadium of the game.
Exactly. Yeah. It's very basic, very straightforward. There's a couple cool shortcuts that you can take, especially with Wisp powers, but it's a track designed to get you to grips with how the game is played. And they make you play it as the very first thing you do when you make a new file within the game. They make you do the first Grand Prix, and this will be the first thing that everyone does when they boot up the game.
It's so basic and standard, it doesn't even have like a flying or boating section.
It's a good first course, but it's probably not one that you're gonna like go to all the time.
Pick
but again,
it in online if the other 2 options suck.
Yeah. But like in terms of getting your bearings on the basic driving controls, it's pretty solid. But moving up for the second course, we have Rainbow Garden, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I think this is a pretty cozy track.
It's love this
weirdly
one.
in my top 10. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the music that accompanies it is great too. Honestly, I don't know if this is a hot take, but I don't really care for most of the original songs in Crossworlds, but Rainbow Gardens is one that I always love.
I don't remember it. I've had the alternate music, like my favorites list set as my music for so long now. It's a pretty good track though, yeah.
Question for Lucky. Have you ever played Mario Kart 7?
Yes, that's the one on the 3DS, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
this course reminds me a lot of, I believe, Daisy Circuit from that game, which was it was the first course that introduced you to the gliding mechanic, at least prominently.
It's been a while, I don't really remember.
It was like a village course with a flower field. This reminds me a lot of that.
It was nothing like the Wii version, right?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
This was very different. This has like a lake you fly over, and there's a little town and a bridge. Aesthetically, it just reminds me a lot of that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But aside from the comparison, Lucky, what do you think of this course?
It's perfectly fine. It's part of the first Cups, or the Grand Prix, whatever. So it's another simple track, but they do throw in the flying segment to start introducing you to new mechanics. So it's it's pretty good.
Closing out the first cup is Water Palace. I love this one.
I fucking wish they used back-to-back for the track instead of like whatever the hell they decided to put for this one. Because like it's Water Palace from Sonic Rush. That's like one of the most iconic stages in that game, and people love the music for it. And you're just gonna do away with that? What the hell? But the track's cool though.
I will give it, even though it's not the Water Palace theme, I do think this is one of the more memorable music tracks.
I do agree that not crazy about their music choices in a lot of these, and we had a whole discussion another time about how there's just no Sonic Heroes music anywhere.
Well, there is, but not in the original soundtrack. The only songs they pull are Seaside Hill from Sonic Generation specifically, and I think it's either Casino Park or Bingo Highway from Team Sonic Racing. That's it. That's all the Heroes rep you get.
As for the track itself, again, it's a fairly simple track, and it introduces the boat section. So, I mean, as a whole, the first Grand Prix is really solid in what it sets out to accomplish, I think.
I do think each course in this cup is better than the last one. Like, East Stadium is fine, I really like Rainbow Garden, and Water Palace is in my top 3.
I think mechanically I would agree. I think Water Palace is more interesting to play than Rainbow Garden, but I love Rainbow Garden more aesthetically, so it's kind of give and take.
I'm a sucker for, like, the tropical, like, water aesthetics, so Water Palace just hits, like, a sweet spot for me. But I do love just the vibe and atmosphere of Rainbow Garden. Alright, second cup is the Wisp Cup, starting with Metal Harbor.
I am a huge Sonic Adventure 2 fan, so I'm a big fan of Metal Harbor, just by default.
Biased.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that they don't make you do a boating segment for Metal Harbor. You just do the plane and the cart.
It's weird.
I feel like that's
yeah.
a little bit of a missed opportunity, but I don't like the boat, so you know what? It's fine. Metal Harbor is pretty cool though. They try to simulate going up the rocket with the final ramp in lap 3. It's not to the same effect, but it's still cool that they try to at least replicate that.
And the final lap theme is the theme of when you go down the chute at the end of the level.
I'll be honest, I don't really have much to say on this course. Again, I like the what you guys said, the big trick at the end. And it has that one shortcut that, like, I never do properly.
Is it the one with the big turn? That
yeah,
looks like a lower platform?
I don't even know if that is a shortcut. I do know there's a red ring down there, but, like...
I see people do that all the time online, so I think it is a shortcut.
That one and Ocean View?
Ocean View.
Or whatever. Yeah, those both have a shortcut like that I just don't even try, because I always fall off when I do.
I heard a good trick for some of those shortcuts is to have a drill wisp or laser wisp on standby.
Well, yeah, because that automates how you move.
Yeah, but I don't think I've ever pulled that one off without assistance from one of them. Maybe once, but I don't really attempt it often.
I attempt it sometimes. I think the only shortcut that I've like actively refused to attempt is the one in Dinosaur Jungle, but I'm getting way ahead here.
Oh God, yeah.
All right, now second in the second cup is Sand Road.
I hate it.
Okay, what about it?
It's the sand physics. I hate that they're slippery. I know there's a gadget to make it so that your car doesn't slip when you're on the sand and or snow, but fuck you, I'm not wasting a slot for that. The boat section in lap 3 can also kiss my ass. The turns are just so uncomfortable to make. Maybe I'm just bad with the boat.
Bad. As one of the 2 levels with like ice physics, I don't think it's nearly as bad as Blizzard Valley. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I'm with Lucky. I have more problems staying on track on Blizzard Valley. I think this one's pretty good. This one's pretty good. I think it has some satisfying turns. I think it has one of the more memorable music tracks.
I think
like
it's just Sand Hill from Sonic Adventure, right?
I know, yeah, but the remix.
I'll be real, I didn't realize that's what the level was supposed to be.
Next up, Colorful Mall.
We have Coconut Mall at home. It's still good though, but it's definitely just Coconut Mall light. Like, if you've played Coconut Mall from Mario Kart Wii, like, this'll just feel exactly like that, but lesser.
It's inoffensive. I don't really go out of my way to pick it. unless there's like two worse options, but it's fine.
I like the multiple floors that you could choose between when you're going up and down the escalators, and how you could like fall down to one of the lower floors when you're making one of the turns. I think that's a cool trick that you could do, but at the same time, man, this is almost plagiarism.
They do have that, there's a red ring on lap 3 to even showcase. It's like, hey, maybe you might want to jump down on occasion, like if you didn't think to do so in the first lap.
Yeah, like Lugia said, I like the multiple layers. I think this one is pretty good. Not a top tier track, and yeah, it certainly is trying to be Coconut Mall, but
Fuck, man, they're orange.
The color palette is extremely similar.
Third Cup, Mystic Jungle. I'm very mixed on this one.
I don't really like this one either. Not as much as Sand Road, but very, very close.
It took me way too long to internalize that the part covered in water is not a boating section.
Originally, this was my least favorite course because of the Riptide section. I thought it's incredibly easy to fall off. Eventually, I got the hang of that, but after that, I realized this course is very short. Like, you just have the cave, you have the slide, and then you have the snake thing, which is like 5% of the track, and then it's done.
I was worried about like flying off the sides in the half pipe section, but I don't know, it kind of became more fun to me once I realized you can kind of use that to jump over sections of the track.
Yeah, I will say that is satisfying.
It's
But
pretty
I feel
hard
like
to
this
do,
track, I feel like this track ends before it really begins.
There's also the giant snake in lap 3 who just hides a dash panel under you, but you can kind of just slipstream through him. It doesn't really add much. I thought maybe it would be a cool idea if maybe there's like an alternate path you could take where the snake eats you, and then you just like travel through the snake and then pop out of it somewhere as like maybe a shortcut or just an alternate route, or maybe a punishment for getting eaten by the snake. I don't know.
There could be a point where you drive on the snake, because I think the infinite fight in Sonic Forces has you running on the snake. But yeah, like I can have fun on this course. Again, I don't hate it, but it's pretty low on my scoreboard.
I like the aesthetic at least. I like the neon lights and the dark jungle kind of vibe. I don't know, it looks cool, I think.
I like how it looks now, but when I first played it, I could not tell where the fuck I was going.
Following Mystic Jungle is Apatos.
Have you ever experienced the pain of driving in the starting hallway and then a monster truck sprouts out right behind you?
No, but I have heard stories.
It's miserable.
The glue eaters that start with Monster Truck Starter.
I've never used Monster Truck in any of my gadgets.
I used it a little bit for funsies. I can't deny that it's kind of just really funny.
But using it in Apatos is just kind of funny because it's such a narrow lane for the start of it that you could basically squish anybody with it.
Did you ask if it was worth it?
Yeah, because again, it's 3 slots for your gadget.
Yeah,
for
no.
one-time use. Like,
no, I don't use it on like real like online races. It was just some races with me, Lugia, and Boca, a friend of his. We were just screwing around with the not the online lobbies, but
The friend lobby.
private lobbies. Yeah. That's the word I'm looking for.
yeah, this course isn't anything too crazy, you know, as long as you're not being ambushed by a monster truck. But
Yeah.
one part of it does confuse me, and that is, so there's a plane section that goes into a car section for 2 seconds and then back to a plane section.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that is.
I understand that the gimmick is that on the 3rd lap, you're changing directions in how you approach the final turn. But couldn't you have simply allocated that with, like, signs in the air pointing you where to go?
You didn't need to have that platform just to have us go back into the plane mode. You could have
Yeah.
just got rid of that on the 3rd lap and it would have been fine.
Again, you're only on it for, like, 2 seconds, if that. But otherwise fine.
I mean, they don't do it on any other track, at least. I don't know. It is kind of goofy.
We round out this cup with Wonder Museum, and man, this is top tier.
I love this one. This is one of my favorites.
It's pretty good.
Like, yeah, Night at the Museum did it first, but whatever, it makes an awesome race course.
I love how the ghosts from Sonic Adventure 2 are like a constant part in some tracks within this game. Like, you already see them in Sand Road, I assume as a Pyramid Cave or a Sandopolis reference, but then in Lap 3 of Wonder Museum, they actually possess all the objects within the museum. So that's why you see the cars like driving on the tracks. That's why the fossils of the dinosaurs are coming to life and trying to eat you. Yeah.
Plane.
It's really cool, and you just see them in the background just fucking around with everything.
No, the atmosphere here is excellent, and this has my favorite original music piece in the whole game.
It's really good. I don't know if it would be my favorite though, but it's up there.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I like all the changes to the third lap. The dinosaur skeletons coming to life or being possessed by the ghosts, I guess. There's like a laser in the final stretch and like a giant like Moai head. Like, I don't know, it's neat. All the
guy who wants Gum Gum.
Display cars. Yeah.
Up next is Crystal Mine.
Not a huge fan.
I think it's alright. I like the original song for it. The course design itself is okay. I don't know what the point of the giant jagged rocks at the end is outside of getting a red ring. Because, like, every time I play online, I always see people just avoid those and just take the straight way.
You can boost, like, the ones you can drive on?
Yeah.
I think, like, you can get, like, boosts, like, trick boosts off of that or whatever.
But I don't see anybody do that.
Yeah, because it's an inconsistent thing to do.
This might be a weird thing to say, but a part of me feels like this course was meant to be based on Planet Wisp from Sonic Colors. Because I remember Planet Wisp, the whole theme of that was that it was like under construction, and this has all the construction cars and the giant buzzsaw. And even like the electric guitar in the song has a very Sonic Colors-like feel to it.
I think that's probably because Planet Wisp was already in Team Sonic Racing, so they didn't want to repeat that.
Yes, but I mean, jumping ahead here, Ocean View was in this game and Market Street's in this game, and they were also in Team Sonic Racing.
I say bring in more tracks. I'm a little tired of racing on the ones we have. We need more.
Next, Ocean View.
It should have been just called Seaside Hill, but whatever.
I think it's a pretty fun track. Name and music choices notwithstanding.
The music choice confuses the fuck out of me because it's two songs. For lap 1, it's a remix of You Can Do Anything from Sonic CD, which is great. I really love the song. I just don't know why it's used for Seaside Hill. And then for lap 3, it's Supersonic Racing from Sonic R. I'm like, do you guys just hate heroes or something?
Unfortunately, have no answers for you because, yeah, they should have used the songs that should have gone with it.
This track also has another shortcut that I rarely ever pull off.
I think it's easier to pull off if you just make the turn early. If you, like, start up a drift and then just go for it, you'll land on it no problem.
I've made it a few times, but more often than not, I've failed. Overall, pretty solid. I like the boat section in the middle, and I like how, unlike other variations of Ocean View, you actually go into one of the temples. Like, briefly, but it's still pretty cool.
The boating section kind of changes on lap 3, like the layout of it, which is weird, but it's pretty neat.
It's a linear path for lap 1, but then when it gets to lap 3, you have a choice between right or left, and I think it's random whether or not one has items and dash panels.
Yeah.
Right, there's left, and you can also jump over the island.
There's a 100 ring there.
And even in the temple, you have a choice between different levels. You can go and get rings on the bottom route, you can get a boost in the middle route, and I think the top route has an item box.
I think both the top and bottom have item boxes.
Next up, Pumpkin Mansion.
I don't much care for Pumpkin Mansion. I don't know why. I think it's the final section where off-road is just like, I don't know, there's no like very clear indicators. It might just be like my bad vision that's the problem, but I have a hard time staying on the track on that final section. I've also been knocked into like the green goo part several times, and that's always frustrating. I don't know, Pumpkin Mansion, I do not vibe with it.
I am the exact opposite because I think this is one of my favorite tracks in the game. I say that, and I love Sonic Heroes. I love Mystic Mansion, so this was kind of for me. Granted, when you're first playing it, it can be very jarring because like you're going through the warp ring that makes it upside down, and then you'll just hit the chandelier that's in your way and like lose some speed and rings because of it. But I love the visual tricks that this track does. I also love in the final lap, you can ride along an invisible pathway that's lit by torches, just like how you did that in Sonic Heroes.
That's really cool.
I'm okay with the two big pumpkins that are random as to which path you could take, because it makes the lead player have to think on their toes and adjust on the fly, and then everyone else in the back can get a chance to speed up because they don't really have to do all the thinking, they just got to catch up. I think that's a decent way of like balancing out the track even when you know what you're doing.
I'm in the same boat as Lugia. Like haunted house racetracks are like a dime a dozen. Like Mario Kart has a bunch of them. Even Sonic has a few of them. But I do really like the what you said, the glowy path on the third lap and the pumpkin disappearing, that you need to think on your toes if you're going the right way or not. And I think that this one has like really interesting visuals. Like it's not just like standard like dark haunted house. It's actually really colorful with a lot of oranges and like greens.
Don't get me wrong, I wish I liked it. I love it aesthetically, but I just don't like the track itself.
Next cup starts with Urban Canyon. This one gives me Test Track vibes from Disney.
It's fine. It's just fine. I don't really care for it. I don't have much to say on it.
Jeez, I had to stop and think for a second which one was Urban Canyon. Right, yeah, I mean, that should sum up my thoughts on it.
Really? I actually really like this one. I think this is a great track to do drifting on. Like a lot of great sharp turns.
Yeah,
I like the airplane section.
Fine.
I like how on the third lap the gates open up and you can turn even sharper before the sharp turn.
I don't know, it's fine. It just doesn't really stand out in my mind.
Like when you think of white racetracks in Sonic Crossworlds, you're probably either thinking of Water Palace or Apatos.
White space.
But the thing is, those tracks have the benefit of being from other Sonic games. Where the hell's Urban Canyon from? It's an original track.
It's not the only original track, though, I think.
Well, I mean, in terms of the white color palette.
There's a desert in the background, so I think that gives it a little bit more visual variety.
Is there? I actually never noticed.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it. Next up, Market Street. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I think this is my least favorite course in the game.
I can see why. I think it's okay. It's cool that they made Rooftop Run a course for this game, but I think the way that they handle the multiple levels of elevation for the turns is just off-putting, especially the one at the end, which leads to the turn with the grass patch that isn't really much of a grass patch. There's like very little grass on it, so it's not like you can even take a wisp shortcut on that one. I think that one was definitely very off. It's also really hard to get to the warp ring in the final lap because it's very easy to just lose yourself when you're trying to make the jump over to the platform. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to make that turn unless like maybe there's a ramp trick that you can do that I don't know about.
I was just gonna ask, do you try to take that higher pathway to jump down to it, or?
Yeah.
What I've seen and what the time trial like guideline says to do is like take the lower path and then on one of the jumps you just kind of merge onto the left. I don't know.
Okay.
I do think boosting onto the elevation does help a little bit, but even then, it's never a guarantee. But the reason I say this course is probably my least favorite is because, okay, so every course in this game is a unique design, but it does borrow, some of them do borrow a bit from previous Sonic Racing games, mainly Team Sonic Racing. And I remember in Team Sonic Racing, there was a Market Street course, and that was actually one of my favorite tracks in that game. And the layout here, it starts and ends basically the same way, but I remember the middle section of it had you drove up the building and then alongside it, and then you bounced off of a hot air balloon onto another rooftop. And here it kind of got rid of all that, so it feels less exciting to me. And the end section where you get to choose between driving on the roof or driving on the road, it feels much tighter than it did in Team Sonic Racing. If there's one thing I'll give Team Sonic Racing it's the Market Street course.
Actually, yeah, the way you described it, what the hell? It sounds like they stripped away all the personality for the stage. Because, like, you do shit like
Yes.
that in Rooftop Run in Generations and Unleashed, but here it's just, like, the ground level, like, the most basic thing you do in Rooftop Run, just translated into a race course.
Yeah, again, it's not a frustrating course. Like, there's nothing inherently, like, wrong with its design or anything. It's just thinking back to what this course is obviously pulling from, they got rid of, like, a lot of the sense of fun from it, I feel.
Man, they could have had you drive up the bell tower, too. What the hell?
Or at least fly around it or something.
Yeah.
It just kind of feels like it's the bare minimum. But then we do a 180 because Coral Town might just be my favorite course in the game.
It's okay. It's trying to be like, I think Yoshi's Valley from Mario Kart 64, where there's a lot of different pathways. And that's cool and all, but those pathways are pretty narrow. Granted, some of the shortcuts that you can take are cool. I think in the blue path, there's like one that's a straight ahead that you could do that's somewhat faster. I'm not entirely sure, but I like that one.
I will give Coral Town that it's far less confusing than Yoshi's Valley.
I don't think they even gave you a mini map for that in Mario Kart 64.
They did, but the problem is it didn't work because it couldn't keep track of it.
Oh, right.
And also that game's control scheme made it more difficult than it probably should have been. But I don't know, I just, like, yeah, it's, like, you can easily compare it to Yoshi Valley, but, like, I love the aesthetic of this one. Again, I think the music is great.
It looks and sounds
like
great. I agree with you on that. The course design
Yeah.
is just, it doesn't really do it for me. Also, for something called Coral Town, there's no boat segment, which is a little weird, but okay.
I guess, but I don't know, I really dig the variety in this one. Next up, Blizzard Valley.
Gross.
Yeah, this one
I
sucks.
don't hate Blizzard Valley. There, I said it.
How dare you?
It's not my favorite. It's not even in my top 10, but okay, I will admit, yeah, the snow is really annoying. It's very easy to drive onto the snow, and it slows you down exponentially.
Why the hell did they need to add wind to push you towards the snow?
Yeah, I hate Blizzard Valley for all the reasons Lugia hates Sand Road. But I think it's worse.
It's far worse. Sand Road sucks in my opinion, but Blizzard Valley is just that compounded with even more bullshit.
I do like Sand Road more than Blizzard Valley. I dig the atmosphere, I dig the aesthetics, and I dig basically every other part of the track that isn't the beginning.
I will give the game credit for this, though. I had to check it real quick just now, but maximum traction only costs 1 slot. However, that's an extra slot I could be using for literally anything else to not have to deal with the ice physics.
And even then, that gadget only works for 2 tracks in the, well, technically 3, but let's say 2.5. It works for 2.5 tracks in the whole game.
You can't equip it reactionary because once the track is locked in, the race starts.
And if you have
Unless
it in
you-
your gadget plate and you don't get Blizzard Valley or Sand Road, then that's a
Worthless.
slot you wasted.
I have used maximum traction for time trial. That's it.
In my book, Blizzard Valley is okay. Like, it's not a favorite, but once you get past the opening part with all the turns and the snow, it's alright.
I think Eggman should finish destroying it so we don't have to race on it anymore.
Up next, Radical Highway.
This is a fun one.
Yay.
It's,
I like Radical Highway.
I wonder why. It's pretty standard for the most part, but I like the different pathways that you can take. I also really like the shortcut that you can do on the railing and the bridge. It's very tight.
That shortcut alone elevates this track for me.
It's very tight, and you're not going to get it all the time, but when you do, you feel like a god.
Especially in the race park, like the boost panel competition, or in the ring competition where you equip, when you go over a dash panel, you get 5 rings. Man, there's no other feeling like it.
And then you can either go down the other side of the railing, or you can like launch yourself off the side and do air tricks. So like land, you have a couple of options. So yeah, big fan of Radical Highway.
Okay, Black Doom.
Next up, Chow Park.
This one lives in memes. I kind of like it, but there's that one fucking turn you make like halfway through the track that's like ride or die.
Aside from that one turn, Chow Park is fine.
I also don't really care about the water segment near the end. I mean, it looks cool, and visually, from a storytelling perspective, it's kind of nice how, like, this amusement park is also a water park, so they got to incorporate that in some way, but I think it goes on a little longer than they really want to. And the water spouts, I think, are more of a hindrance than they are helpful.
I find I really like the courses you guys are more iffy on, because this is another top pick for me.
Well,
I think mainly...
Have you played online?
I haven't played online, no.
Then you don't know.
Oh, okay. That changes some things about your opinions.
Probably.
Oh man, yeah, you gotta play online.
I probably should have specified I haven't played online.
You will fall off of that one turn in Chow Park, and then you'll land, and then somebody will drive up behind you and knock you off again, and it's bad.
It's misery.
The track is fine, but that one turn is a nightmare.
Only speaking from single player, I love the theming, I love the aesthetic, I love how it feels like I'm on a roller coaster. I like the cruise ship in the background. But yes, I stand Chow Park.
I think it's crazier that you like Blizzard Valley. It's fine.
I don't love it. It's fine. There's 15 other courses I'd take over it, but I'm not miserable playing on it. But anyway, Donpa Factory. I'm gonna be real with you. Most days I forget this course is there.
I don't really care much for Donpa Factory at all.
Same.
It's kind of basic. It kind of reminds me of Toad's Factory in a way, but a bit lesser. It's not
Toad's
as chaotic.
Factory had much more personality. There was so much to that course with the conveyor belts, the cargo, the mud at the end.
This has conveyor belts, paint, and some cars spinning in a circle, which you can very easily avoid.
It's just a car factory. It's not a whimsical car factory. Aside from the fact that there's a racetrack going through it for some reason.
It's fine. It's inoffensive, but again, it's probably one of the more forgettable ones for me. I'll tell you what isn't forgettable. Aqua Forest.
I don't like that one turn in the boat section.
That one turn's annoying, but I love the rest of it.
The shortcuts that you could do with the rings, where you have to actually use the jump feature with the boat, is pretty cool. I don't know if it's that much faster, though, but it's nice to pull off every time.
I mean, it does send you on a straight path instead of around a curve, so it's probably faster.
This is another track that, for me, is really held up by its theming and music.
The music is phenomenal, yeah.
But yeah, that one turn is pretty annoying, but it's one turn.
I don't know, man. One turn can ruin a whole course. Look at Chow Park.
I've warmed on Aqua Forest a little bit. That curve is only really bad if you're trying to race on supersonic speed, which online doesn't have, so...
I still struggle with it every now and then. I don't know if it's because I'm doing something wrong. I don't know if braking when you're making a turn is more viable than just letting go of the gas. I'm still not clear on that, but other than that...
Try braking while still holding on the gas. I promise it's good.
Okay.
Because you can maintain boosts like that and everything,
Well, you can still maintain boost when you even let go of the gas. You just gotta keep holding the drift button down.
Up next, Eggman Expo.
Man, he had a whole convention for this?
I think it's a fun track. I think it's totally something Eggman would do, is build an entire race course dedicated to his inventions and whatnot.
I.e., Death Egg Robot and Egg Dragoon, because we already brought those back in Sonic Generations, and goddammit, we're not gonna scrap those models now.
Yeah, it could have more references to stuff. It does have the swinging ball from Sonic 1.
I think that's about it, though.
Yeah.
Actually, the more that I think about it, the more I realize this course is very similar to Wonder Museum, in that objects in the background become obstacles in the third lap.
Yeah, Egg Dragoon actively attacks you, when you're trying to go for the dash pad. The Death Egg Robot also tries to catch you off guard when it's blocking one of the lanes with its super extended arms. I gotta say, though, I really do not like the tube section at the end. I think that sucks.
Yeah, it's another example of a sharp boat turn that just ain't it, Chief. But otherwise, again, I think the rest of the course is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. I like it.
Alright, and for the final cup, at least, in the base game, there's Kronos Island.
I think it's pretty fun.
I love it apart from Squid. I think Squid kind of sours it a little bit. But other than that, it's great. I love the open space, kind of representing Sonic Frontiers as a somewhat open world game. The music is incredible, goddamn. They did such a good job with remixing Kronos Island. And I'm
Yeah,
For
here.
the first lap, you have that, and then, yeah, the last lap, it changes to the boss music. Yeah, again, pretty solid course. I don't really mind the squid portion that much, and I like how, for the final shortcut, you don't even need a boost to pull it off. North Star Islands.
It's alright. I think it's pretty fun.
I wish I could say more about this one. It's got some cool ideas to it. Like the giant hammer that pounds the ground and sends everybody flying upwards for a little bit so you can do tricks and get more boosts. And you gotta be careful when you're going under it, because otherwise you'll get squished. I really like that. But it also just kind of feels like fairly basic. It doesn't really do too much unique outside of that.
I haven't played Sonic Superstars, but I hear this is like 3 of the zones compacted into 1.
Makes sense. I haven't played it either.
I don't plan to.
I like the look of it.
And I know I said that the Dompa Factory kind of reminds me of Toad Factory. The final section in this track with the thing smashing down reminds me a lot of Toad's Factory.
Yeah, it did a similar thing too with the hydraulic press.
That's the word, hydraulic press. I don't know, similar to Rainbow Garden, I just think this is a pretty cozy course.
It looks great.
And the final course in the base game is White Space.
This one's really cool.
Yeah, I'm a fan of White Space.
It's also great that they used the Shadow Generations one, because goddamn, using the one in base Generations would be fucking boring.
As I said at the beginning, I think out of all the courses, this one definitely takes the most advantage of what Transformed set up. It feels the most like a course from Transformed.
Yeah, because the first lap plays it pretty safe, like you're racing around. But then you have the boat section, and you have to avoid the Doom Goop just to maintain your speed, and there's also a shortcut you could take that leads to a ramp. But then the final lap is where things get really interesting, because they do the thing where when you're at the end game of Shadow Generations, the biblically accurate Doom Comet, everything goes all red, it activates, and it changes up the design of White Space, where Radical Highway's there now. But they implement it pretty well.
Yeah, of course it is. It's Radical Highway because because BlackTube loves Radical Highway for some reason.
And like you said, the final plane segment reminds me of Transformed and how that game sort of structured its courses and laps. And it even takes you to a completely different area at the end too. It takes you to where Chaos Island is located in the original game.
I'd say it's definitely a strong note to end the base game on.
Yeah.
But again, base game, there's DLC, and I'll be honest, I haven't gotten it yet, so I'll let you guys take this one.
There's not really much to talk about when it comes to the DLC. As we're recording this right now, it's December 29th, and the Nights Festival already ended, and there's only 2 DLC tracks that we got, Minecraft World and Bikini Bottom.
Yeah.
What do you think of them?
Minecraft World is a pretty good representation of the game in general. I think it's pretty good.
I love the variety in Minecraft World, how you're in the normal world, and lap 1 you go down to the nether and you have to avoid gassed fireballs, and then in lap 3 you go to the end and you have to dodge the ender dragons, and it's a big plane segment. There's a lot of visual variety with Minecraft World, and I think that alone makes it like one of the better tracks to me, because you're always looking at something new, and mechanically it's always changing.
And Bikini Bottom?
It's fine.
It doesn't showcase nearly as many different things. You drive through the Krusty Krab and you like go through its basement or whatever, which leads out into Goo Lagoon for some reason. I don't know, but you get to see a couple of SpongeBob locations.
There's a giant plankton robot that tries to squish you if you go on one of the dash panels. It works basically like Egg Dragoon in Eggman Expo.
Although it's not actively trying to hit you, it's just on a timer essentially.
There's also NPCs and they look like shit, but I think that's just kind of the caveat for it being a DLC stage.
I feel like we were robbed. I mean, okay, so I'm just a big Yakuza fan, so I want Ichiban to have a course, even if it's just like racing through the streets of Honolulu or something. Like, I don't know, I wanted something.
Knights also didn't get a stage 2, and I felt like that was very jarring considering that's a Sega property.
Yeah. It's weird that the DLC racers don't all get tracks.
The Pac-Man track's supposed to come out.
I think sometime in January.
But they did have like estimated times for them or something. There's no Persona 5 course, which could have been cool, racing through like any of the palaces. Miku has several different like music videos that they could have pulled inspiration from. Like Miku could have had some pretty good racetracks. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the main racetracks, I guess.
But Sonic Racing Crossworlds isn't just racetracks. There's still Crossworlds to talk about. So first up is Cyberspace.
I really like Cyberspace as a Crossworld, because it doesn't really try to do anything like too fancy apart from the end with all the cars. It kind of reminds me of Moonview Highway from Mario Kart Wii. But I think Cyberspace is like one of the more cozier Crossworlds to me personally. There's a lot of fun jumps on the ramps that you can do. The flight section, while kind of straightforward, is still a little fun. I don't really have much to complain about when it comes to this one.
Yeah, I think this one's pretty solid. I don't really like the truck section, but it's the end of the course. I can live with it.
I like Cyberspace. I like that they picked the one unique setting from the Cyberspace levels and the one good Cyberspace theme.
Imagine if it was Cyberspace, but it was just Green Hill assets. People would fucking flip.
Yeah.
You know, I'm also surprised Green Hill Zone didn't make it into the game, but you know what? That's probably for the better.
Actually, I don't think... Was Green Hill a course theme in any of the previous racing games?
I think it was in the original Sega All-Stars Racing.
Like, if they wanted to pay homage to the older games, I say give us Angel Island and do the thing where, like, everything catches on fire in the third lap. Like,
yeah,
that would be cool.
Wait, no. Sonic All-Stars Racing, the first one, only took its inspiration from Sonic Heroes.
Wait, was that also Seaside Hill?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm totally misremembering now.
The only Sonic Racing games that had Green Hill were like the original ones, the first two Drift games and Sonic R.
Hey, they showed restraint. Now do that for the mainline games.
I can't speak for Rivals, and you probably can't speak for Rivals either.
Nope.
But one more thing about Cyberspace. Once again, I want to compliment the music, the saxophone in particular. The dude on the sax in this one, he's going all out.
Let's be real though, people only know that song because 1-2 in Sonic Frontiers is the hardest S rank in the game. That's literally why people know it.
Up next, the amazing Digital Circuit.
I think this is our one Shadow the Hedgehog representation. White Space was Shadow Generation, so that doesn't count.
Good job picking the one interesting level from Shadow the Hedgehog.
I wouldn't go that far. There's other levels from Shadow that I enjoy, like Lava Shelter and Sky Troops, but Digital Circuit is definitely one of the more standout ones. And they also did a really good job with this one too, with the multiple pathways. There's a lower path that you can take at the very beginning, which I think is actually faster now that I think about it. And then there's like the middle section where there's like two different pathways that kind of like interweave with each other. That was really cool.
I do wish they actually used the theme from Digital Circuit, or a remix of it. That would have been nice.
I don't really have much to say on this one, honestly. I like the aesthetic. I think the choice of the two paths is neat. The airplane section's nice. It's fine. Not a whole lot to say.
It's very colorful too.
Up next, Dinosaur Jungle.
I feel fucking validated because I streamed Sonic and the Secret Rings earlier this year. So the fact that there was a Sonic and the Secret Rings course into the game, it felt like, man, they thought about me, the lower man. But Dinosaur Jungle, it's cool. I like how the dinosaurs are like an obstacle throughout the stage. I don't like the shortcut near the end, however, but the waterfall at the beginning is really cool because there's also a similar beat in Secret Rings where Sonic has to ride on a log down a waterfall.
There you go.
Dinosaur Jungle's pretty fun. I like it, but yeah, I agree with Lugia on that shortcut. I tried it once in a time trial and it ruined my run, and I was like, I'm never trying that one again. Screw that thing.
Yeah, I really like this one too. But the waterfall section honestly reminds me a lot of that one Nights into Dreams course from Transformed, where you go through a portal and you exit out in a waterfall. Up next, Dragon Road.
This one's awesome.
It's pretty cool, yeah.
So I like how they use specifically the nighttime version, and then there's Dark Gaia Phoenix, who's constantly like setting the whole track ablaze, and you have to dodge the fire. It's so cool.
I think the Dark Gaia section really brings this one together for me. Like I like the car section fine, like some cool drifts, but I really like the boat section a lot.
The fact that Dark Gaia Phoenix is such a constant presence throughout, and you're seeing like everything around you constantly on fire because it's like trying to kill you is so cool.
The fire gets in the way of that one shortcut, the red ring shortcut. So I don't know, it's just fun to have to navigate around.
Up next, Golden Temple. I think I've gotten this Crossworld the most.
It's fine. I don't know what it's supposed to be from, honestly.
I think it's supposed to be original. But I don't really care for this one either. It has the Aqua Forest problem where you're on a boat trying to make really awkward turns, especially near the end.
Have you ever used any of the gadgets that like augment the boat section?
No.
Controls? There's one where like you jump, and if you hit left or right while doing an air trick, it will move you in that direction.
Oh wait, no, I've used that one before, yeah.
It feels really bad, I think.
Yeah, I assume it doesn't help with
on the
narrow
sharp
pathways
turns,
like
yeah.
that.
You're not turning, you're just repositioning yourself.
I don't know. Not much to say about Golden Temple. It's there.
It's fine, I guess. I think the rolling balls impeding your progress are kind of cool, but they're also very easy to avoid.
I like this one, but yeah, not really a whole lot of notes either.
The giant balls make me think of the temple stage from Sonic 06, where you have to play Pool of Silver.
Next, Hidden World.
I thought Hidden World was the Pac-Man level. Lugia's just like, nah, that's from Lost World. I was like, really?
To be fair, in Lost World, it's like a post-game world, so like once you beat the game, you unlock that. So not a lot of people see it because there's like one level in Lost World that's just super fucking frustrating. It's the one where you're like grinding on rails. But Hidden World is trippy, but it's also kind of fun. I still don't know why they decided to have the fucking furry Pac-Man as a thing in the Sonic universe. Like, what were they thinking there? It's so bizarre. But other than that, I don't really care much for the plane segment, but everything else about it is pretty cool. Like the Y turns that you have to make when you're done with the first plane segment, and then there's the big section with like the roulette of Pac-Man. I don't know what they're called, man. I'm just gonna call them Pac-Man.
They're Pac-Man.
Yeah, but that part's also really cool, how they're going in one direction, and it's up to you to decide if you want to go to the right or left, if you're gonna drive where they're going in your direction, or if they're going against you. Pretty solid Crossworld.
And go through the dips in the road to get like air trick boosts.
Yeah.
I like the one jump you can do at the beginning of it, that especially when there's the stipulation where you're granted a continuous wisp boost.
The ramp at the end of the
ramp.
Yeah, all the turns. Yeah, that one's pretty cool.
The fuzzy Pac-Man can be a bit annoying to dodge, though. I realized that I accidentally skipped over Galactic Parade.
Honestly, this is probably one of my more favorite ones. I've always loved Starlight Carnival in Sonic Colors aesthetically. As a level, it's okay. It's too automated for my liking, but the atmosphere, the music, it all just screams peak. And being able to play on the purple road without having to do like the stupid quick steps to dodge the lasers is really cool. Like, you have full control of that now. I love this one. This one's amazing.
Yeah. Aesthetically, it's fun. As a track, it's fun.
Up next is Holoska.
This might be my favorite one. I know.
Yeah.
It's very contradictory to what I've said about the main courses and the slippery traction, but I think Holoska actually does it very well. It's not that intrusive in this one because it's very unlikely that you would spin out into like rough terrain or something like that. There's a lot of environments that kind of just funnel you in, so it's less likely for you to spin out. And I think the choice between the boat and the plane segment is really cool. And also, this track just looks
absolutely.
the track looks amazing, and the remix of Holoska Night from Unleashed is also amazing as well.
The whales jumping in the background,
Yeah.
the penguins watching, the Aurora Borealis. Yeah, this is probably my favorite Crossworld as well.
It's pretty nice. Yeah, aesthetically it's nice and everything, and I did even the bad traction is so minimal that I questioned if it even had like the ice physics in it, because it doesn't have like those big turns.
That Kraken Bay.
I assume this is supposed to be a homage to Pirate Storm, but not really. I guess the pirate theme is close enough, but Pirate Storm had a very different vibe to it and different gimmicks that I wouldn't consider Kraken Bay to be Pirate Storm. It's more of a spiritual successor. This one's okay. I don't really like the beginning where you're fighting against the tides. I think that's very finicky. And the branching pathways for this one in particular, I'm not too fond of. I never go the boat route. I always go to the right and go to the upside just to avoid the water.
That's unfortunate because I think the boat section's the fastest way.
Is it? I'm not sure.
That's how I managed to trim off the time I needed for the time trial, is by going the boat route every time.
I don't know. I never took it, and I came out on top just fine for time trial.
I never took note of which one was faster.
Could be I'm just bad at the main road section, so hey.
I like this one. I like the option of taking the boat and the car, and how there's also a plane section. I like how there's all three.
It is pretty neat.
Best thing about it, though, is the music. The original track for the stage is amazing.
Up next, Magma Planet.
It certainly is a magma planet.
I don't even know what it's like supposed to be. Like,
Pretty sure it's just an original thing, like Golden Temple or whatever.
You spend most of it on the plane, which I'm not really too fond of how they design the plane with this course. It just feels a little too finicky for my liking. Granted, you do get some options to keep staying on the ground as opposed to the plane, but you are going to have to use the plane eventually.
We're not on like overall thoughts or anything, but like I think the boating and flying sections are what keep this from being like my favorite kart racer. Like I would rather just be on the ground the whole time.
I just think the way they're implemented in this game feels off. I think Transform did a much better job with implementing the boat and the plane. I kind of wish they took more cues from that with how they controlled, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I am in agreement. I do think Transformed is the better overall controlling game. I do like this Crossworld mainly because of how focused it is on the plane. I think it's the only Crossworld and really only course in the game that is focused on that. So I think that helps it stand out a bit.
That's kind of what sours it for me.
Fair enough. But it also does remind me of one of my favorite courses from Transformed, which is Adder's Lair. That one starts off with you in a boat, but then you transform into a plane riding over lava.
Don't you also ride on the lava with the boat?
Yeah. Next, Roulette Road.
This one's fine. It's nothing too special. I think the level design is very broad and a little too open for a casino stage, but it's inoffensive.
Beats the heck out of the source material.
Just be thankful you don't have to deal with shoddy pinball physics. I love Heroes, I really do, but those, no.
Much care for Heroes, but I think Roulette Road is fun.
I think this is the Crossworld I've gotten the least.
Really?
Yeah, which is a shame because I like this one. Like the layout isn't original, it's very much ripped from the first Sonic All-Stars racing game. Granted, a little more extended and, polished. But I don't have a problem with the layout.
I mean, it's kind of cool how you can, like, do tricks off of the slots. I don't know what you would call, like, the individual segments of a slot, but...
Reels.
Yeah. You could just do tricks off of one of those. It doesn't really do too much with the casino theme, though. Like, there's poker chips that are in your way. There's billiards balls, like, at the very beginning, which I don't even think can hurt you.
I've never seen them hit anybody, so I don't think so.
Yeah, but outside of that, it's just kind of a few turns, and then that's it. It doesn't really do anything too interesting.
I like that the poker chips are, like, kind of interactable. Like, if you get the black hole thing and drive by them, it will suck all the poker chips into it.
Sky Road. This one is okay.
Yeah, I don't really care for this one in particular. The pink aesthetic is kind of appealing, I guess, but it's a little too annoying with the tight turns and the plane. Some of the shortcuts are kind of cool, I guess, but that's really all this has going for it.
This is another case where it's basically taken from a previous Sonic game and not really a whole lot is changed from it.
Which one?
This was a course in Team Sonic Racing.
Okay.
And I actually really liked the that course in Team Sonic Racing. But this one, it's fine. It's inoffensive, but
Aesthetically, it's fine. Having played the open beta, I've seen it a lot because it was one of the very few Crossworlds available. I don't like that part before the final stretch where there's like a balloon you can bounce off of. If you're going too fast, you will miss it entirely and just throw yourself off the track.
That's happened to me before. And
Yeah.
it sucks every time.
Steampunk City.
Fuck this one. I hate Steampunk City. And it doesn't help that this is the one I get the most often. I think the trains are annoying. I think some of the shortcuts are annoying. I don't like the course design at all. It's a fucking mess, man.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, this one doesn't annoy me. Like some of the the first few times I played this, some of the turns were kind of hard to really get a grasp on because it kind of blended in with the background. But I do like the alternate routes you can take.
Yeah, I do actually still just slam into a wall on occasion because I misread which way it's going.
I cannot tell you the amount of times I keep getting rammed into by a fucking train because someone else just bumped into me.
Yeah. It is a pretty tight track.
This is... I think I like this even less than Blizzard Valley. I think this is the worst course in the game for me.
Really?
Yeah, I hate it that much.
I like the music. The music's pretty good.
White Cave.
So, this, I believe, is the only stage representation from Sonic Riders.
Yep.
The song's good, it looks cool, but what is going on with the course design? Like the jagged logs that you keep falling down to, the log that you go through with like anti-gravity or whatever, that part's pretty cool, but everything else about White Cave is just kind of built with duct tape and hope, if I had to put it one way.
Again, log section's cool, but I don't particularly care for this one that much.
Yeah, I don't know if they could have picked a more interesting riders representative, but
Oh, shit, I missed a Crossworld again. Sweet Mountain.
it's pretty fun.
I have mixed feelings about Sweet Mountain.
Is it the turns again? As the boat?
I really want to like the boat section, but there's some turns that are so awkward to make. The plane segment's really fun though, because you're fighting well, you're not fighting, but you're dodging the gumdrops of the Lolly Pirate. It's kind of like the Sonic Colors boss fight, only if it was interesting. So for the most part, I'd say it's a solid lineup of courses with a few misses, but your mileage may vary on that one. It's all subjective at the end of the day, so...
And again, sometimes it's based on whether or not you're playing alone or online.
I think we need more racetracks. I think we need more Crossworlds.
Definitely.
Somebody on the development team actually recently came out with a thing saying that they will continue working on it because the game was very successful. So we could very well get a bunch more content.
This will be the closest thing we ever get to Super Smash Kart. I mean, we got Mega Man now. He's coming. Pac-Man, Sonic, they're in Smash.
Mario's not invited.
I
He's got his
think
own
or rather-
racer.
I think
No,
he
you know
bowed,
what?
he bowed out of the Olympics, right? Isn't it just like Sonic at the Olympic Games now?
I know they're not making them anymore, but I only played the first two.
Also, I bet Mario would be invited, but Nintendo won't let Mario play with the other kids.
Maybe an exclusive Switch 2 character, but I doubt it.
There's no way in hell they're gonna let Mario win, especially when the game's available on all platforms.
Just to wrap up, what are your top 5 favorite tracks?
I'd have to
Jeez.
look again. Colorful Mall, even though it's Coconut Mall, but this is going for main courses, by the way. I'm not gonna include Crossworlds.
Yeah.
Colorful Mall, even though it's Coconut Mall Light, I still really enjoy what it's doing with its course design. Wonder Museum, White Space is definitely up there, Kronos Island, and Pumpkin Mansion. I think those are my top 5.
Mine are Radical Highway, Wonder Museum, Water Palace, Chow Park, and Coral Town.
Radical Highway, Metal Harbor.
Just list off all the SA2 ones, okay.
I mean, I also just like them. Kronos Island, White Space. I don't know
What
what
about-
the favorite is. I don't know. No clue.
Okay, what about Crossworlds?
Definitely Holoska. In terms of
Really?
like the other 4, oh, that might be a little hard.
Digital Circuit, Roulette Road, Airspace, all I can think of, really.
For me, it's Holoska, Cyberspace, Dinosaur Jungle, Kraken Bay, and I guess Dragon Road for a fifth.
I would agree on all that except Kraken Bay. I would probably replace that with Galactic Parade.
All right, so that's all the courses and crossroads in the game. Is there anything else you guys wanted to discuss?
I want to talk. We dabbled a little bit with this, but I want to talk about the song selections that you can get for doing time trials. There's also songs that you can get for purchasing the DLC. Like Joker has some Persona 5 songs, albeit ones that you wouldn't really expect for a racing game. Ichiban has one, I think.
He has, like, the battle theme from Yakuza 7.
Hatsune Miku gets a lot, but of course she's Hatsune Miku. Knights, I believe, has a healthy amount too. My criticisms with the songs that you get from doing time trials are that they're kind of favored in a very strange way, and it feels like certain other games should have gotten more representation. I already mentioned how Sonic Heroes basically has no representation. The Rush games also don't. Sonic Colors has Chocolate Resort, Sweet Mountain, Planet Wisp, and Starlight Carnival, but they use the remixes from Sonic Colors Ultimate, and I know that doesn't really jive well with a lot of people. A lot of people prefer the original composition, so that might be a turnoff for you. Unleashed has a healthy amount. Secret Rings has a couple. 06 has a good amount. Sonic Adventure 2, you gotta work your ass off for that. And even though the songs that they put in are good, they're not first picks. You get City Escape, which of course, Radical Highway, Green Forest I think you also get. But do you even get Radical Highway? I'm not sure now.
I'm not sure. I haven't unlocked it.
You get Throw It All Away, which is the main theme for Shadow. It's weird because I think there's a lot of other songs in Sonic Adventure 2 that you could pull from, like Eternal Engine. That's a great one that you could put in for a racing game. There's the fucking racing game music that's not even in there. Yeah. What the hell?
Literally any of Sonic's stage themes, most of Tails's I think are really good.
Yeah.
I could do without the Knuckles tracks, and that's fine because they have like beef with the dude who wrote those songs anyways, so that wasn't going to happen.
But I think out of everything we talked about when it comes to the music, my biggest criticism when it comes to the lack of inclusions is songs from the Sonic Riders series. Sonic Riders has the main theme and Green Cave, and that's all you get for that game. Meanwhile, Zero Gravity and Free Riders only have their main themes, and I think especially for Zero Gravity, that is criminal because that game has an amazing soundtrack.
Yeah, on the topic of music, they should have had more Riders tracks and whatnot. My biggest gripe is there's some good songs, like original, or I guess they're mostly remixes, whatever. The actual Crossworlds tracks themselves, I could do without most of them, honestly.
Some are fine, some are just whatever. I really do like Galactic Parades. Magma Planets is really good too. Holoska's amazing, but everything else is kind of hit or miss.
See, yeah. It goes back to my love of the adventure games. It's like I think Sonic soundtrack should be more of a rock thing anyways, and they've moved away from that, and I don't much care for it, but
you liked Cyberspace, so...
Yeah, I do. But, just because I prefer the rock tracks doesn't mean I can't like other types of music.
Of course.
This isn't related to the music, but there are two things I wanted to mention. First, this may be a minor thing, but I'm not really a fan of how they changed the trick system from the previous racing games. So, look, you haven't played the previous ones, but in the other Sonic Racing games, in Transformed and Team Sonic Racing, the trick system was if you got off the ground, you had to flick the right analog stick in any direction to do a spin, and that would charge up a boost when you hit the ground. Whereas here, if you flick the thing, you automatically are guaranteed a boost. Whereas in the other ones, it was like a risk versus reward thing. Like, how many turns can you pull off in a jump before you hit the ground? Whereas here, you're guaranteed a trick. You're guaranteed a boost whenever you trick.
Yeah, they kind of treat the
basically-
trick system like a fidget toy in this game compared to the other games, where it was more of a strategical decision.
So it's like you would rotate your vehicle manually with the right stick, essentially.
Yeah,
And you
and it
have to
also-
right yourself before you landed.
Yeah, it also repositioned yourself kind of like that one boat gadget, except it applied to all vehicle forms. And I really do miss that because it could help you like gain better positioning if you were about to land and there was an item in your way.
Also, I think the level design in Transform was more broad, so having something like that would be more viable compared to Crossworlds,
Yeah.
where some of the tracks are very narrow.
As you said, I don't really have context for that, but I don't know, I kind of like the trick system on this. It's simple, but I guess that's why you don't like it as much.
It makes it more accessible for sure. Cause
Yeah.
I know people who've grown up with Sonic Riders really love Sonic Riders, but I've also heard people say that game is really hard to get into nowadays. If you're just curious and you wanted to give it a shot, like that game will fucking filter you.
Yeah,
I think
it's not
also-
an easy game to learn.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Riders, up until this game, was the last Sonic racing game made by Sonic Team.
Yeah.
So I think their goal was to make a Sonic racing game that basically anybody could play. Like, you didn't have to be, like, all that great at it, like, coming in. Like, you could just take your time, get used to the mechanics, and it should be, like, brushing your teeth or something simple.
And I can fully understand that, like, again, I may be biased because, like, I grew up playing the other Sonic racing games, and that's just what I'm used to.
I think the crazy amounts of sales of this game are probably owed a good proportion to how simple it is to play.
And maybe the whole Crossworld feature and putting in different characters who aren't necessarily Sega. I mean, Mega Man coming back always puts a smile on my face, but, you know, you gotta have a Super Smash card sometime, and Sega's willing to capitalize on that.
Sorry, they were confident with this game. They advertised the crap out of it. There was like an entire campaign of voice actors playing like Tails and Sonic and Jet and Wave, like commenting on other racers. There was like a whole animation of Shadow like dominating a race in like this really good animation. Like they were really confident with this game.
One other thing I want to bring up. All right, you can call this another comment that comes from bias, but I miss the challenge mode of the previous Sonic racing games. The single-player mode and the other ones had you do stuff like drift challenges, boost challenges, rival races. Well, I mean, this whole game is a rival race, but it was like more elimination-based. But like, I understand the focus being on racing here because, you know, they're trying to make it a more casual, easy-to-understand racing game. But again, for someone like me who isn't playing online, I do wish I had more variety in the single player content other than racing.
I remember Transformed with its single player had like a currency system based on difficulty. There was like a 4-star system, and you could choose the difficulty based on the star rating. And if you were able to beat it with that difficulty in mind, you would get those stars and like purchase more characters, cars, and whatnot. And like S rank.
I don't miss that. I don't miss unlocking characters that way. I like what this game has where it's all at the get-go.
Right, but the single player gave you more options under your control. That's my point.
And here, like, yeah, the single player stuff does unlock you more like car parts and customization options, but you kind of get it in like 2 hours at most.
All right, I need to complain about something, and it's how they handle currency in this. So there's an achievement system where the more in-game achievements you get more tickets, which is to buy cars or vehicle parts, decals, and all that. And I was trying to go for 100%ing the game just to get all the Steam achievements and all that. But by the time you start expending tickets to get like decals and horns, you gotta grind the fuck out of single player. Because the drip feed is so fucking real. You get like almost no tickets for a horn. Horns are 500 tickets, by the way. And the fastest method of grinding is using Supersonic in the first Grand Prix and getting all the red star rings and getting first place. And that'll probably net you only 100 tickets by the end of it. So you gotta grind your ass if you want to get everything. There was the Knights Festival. It just ended, but if you got 1,000 points in the Knights Festival, that's 3,000 tickets right there. But that's only 6 out of like 26 horns that you can buy. That is not enough.
To be fair, the way you're playing and like trying to unlock everything really fast is probably not the intended like thing. Like, they probably intended you to play online and get tickets and just unlock things as you go, not try to, like, go for completionism immediately.
But that brings me to my second point. Online is a fucking free-for-all. Okay, when you're doing ranked matches, you obviously start at the lowest rank and you work your way up. And it goes from, like, E, D, C, B, A, and then you get to Legend rank. Going from the bottom to Legend rank is actually really easy if you know what you're doing. But by the time you get to Legend rank, and there's like there's like numbered Legend ranks, and it goes from like 9 to 1, people will fucking slit your throat. It is wild out there. Everyone's a fucking tryhard online when you're on Legend mode.
Yeah, you have to place high in Legend rank, or you will lose points.
It is very easy to lose those points too, and you could think you're doing so well and be in first place, and then all of a sudden, like, either Boom Boo hits you or the fucking 10-ton weights or whatever. At the very
monster trucks.
At the very last stretch of the lap, everything could go south in fucking nanoseconds, and it crushes my soul every time. I'll be honest, like, I love this game. It's fun to play with friends, but when you try to take the meta seriously, it's fucking miserable.
Yeah, it's use ultimate charge or die. And I'll be real, I think something needs to be done about monster trucks. I don't know what.
They need to nerf them.
So yeah, something needs to be done. It's just free reign to just drive as crazy as you can and like run over people, and it's just like you can't be hurt. I don't know. Maybe something should be able to damage them. Maybe if you run into a tornado, it'll spin you out or something. I don't know.
So there's definitely still some works to go around. The item balancing is pretty unfair. Like, being in like close to last place is actually a boon because you can get items that'll just shoot you back into like first place. As a casual racing game, yeah, this is really good.
I enjoy it enough that I actually been doing the time trials, which is something I've never really bothered with in any other like kart racer. Even Crash Team Racing, which I love. It is like my favorite kart racer.
Have you tried going for S ranks?
I have not. I am not interested in it because I don't think there's a reward for doing so.
Pride.
I am
the reward.
Content with my A ranks.
Yeah, I'm very happy with how this game came out. Like I said, even though like I did like Team Sonic Racing, it is great to have a Sonic racing game that gets back to what Transform established.
And it's also nice to have a Sonic racing game that people give a shit about.
You ought to at least try online.
I will at some point. It's just.
And if you do, it's crossplay. We could all actually race together.
True. Yeah. Do we have any other additional things we want to say?
I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to a discussion of Sonic Crossworlds Racing. If you're curious at all...
Racing Crossworlds.
Fucking... Whatever. If you're curious at all, it's definitely worth a play. I don't think it's worth full price, though. Wait for a discount. If you can get it at a discount, I think that'd be much better for your time and your wallet. If you do decide to play it, if we somehow convince you, have fun. And if you've already played through Crossworlds Racing and you just needed some validation, I'm happy we can provide that for you.
One last question.
Yeah.
Who's your mains?
Jet.
Amy.
Blaze.
I'll switch between Blaze if I'm going for the car, but I primarily use Jet.
I jump around, but mostly Blaze.
It feels wrong to use the Babylon robes in anything other than an extreme gear.
Yeah.
It is weird, yeah. If I'm racing as one of them, it's usually Wave, and I will use an extreme gear. But yeah.
Thank you for listening, and I hope you all have yourselves a damn good one. So I'm literally uploading this the day right after Summer Games Fest, and they had some news on upcoming DLC for Sonic Crossworlds. What do you mean we're getting a crossover with Godzilla and Evangelion? What the fuck is this game?